November 20th, 2013, Mike Ginn tweeted, "My not involved in human trafficking t-shirt has people asking a lot of questions already answered by my shirt." And so this tweet comes up anytime someone denies something in such a way that makes you just more suspicious that they actually did it.
What this tweet does is play with Grice's maxim of quantity, which is part of Grice's larger cooperative principle, and is basically about giving as much information as needed when in a conversation, not more or less. And if you flout the maxim of quantity, you can convey a meaning that's different from what you actually said, right? You can imply something else. Like here, we flouted it by giving a bit too much information with this whole human trafficking bit. And because you said all of that, people might feel the need to question why you said all of that. They might think you might actually be involved in human trafficking despite literally saying the opposite. And if you didn't say this at all, you'd probably be more in line with this maxim of quantity and given just enough information. And then you probably wouldn't get any of these questions. And in addition to quantity, Grice has three other maxims. The maxim of quality, which is telling the truth, the maxim of relation, which is staying relevant, and the maxim of manner, which is being clear. And I think these can still be useful, but one of my issues with them is that it can be easy to understand these as being like hard and fast rules that you should not break, but really it's not as prescriptive as that. I see it as things that are meant to be broken, meant to be played with, meant to be flouted, right? People will flout these maxims for comedy all the time, like in this tweet here. And Grice's maxims also aren't something that we can just evenly apply across all languages and cultures and contexts, because Grice was working from largely a Western perspective, and when you put these things in non-Western contexts, it doesn't turn out the same. And that doesn't mean that these other languages and cultures are bad or worse. It's just different. That's okay. And we can see similar things when working with neurodivergent folks as well. Behind me is a paper about understanding the development of Grice's maxims in autistic children and typically developing children. And what's highlighted here is that there are two ways that we can understand these things. One is that the understanding of Grice's maxims is different in autistic children, or you can understand it as being delayed in autistic children. But a lot of that depends on the framework we set up to analyze these things. So I guess to wrap this up, Grice's maxims can be cool and interesting, but I would caution against using it as a one-size-fits-all type of thing. I hope this wasn't too much information.